Hey, I'm Benjamin Bernstein with astroshaman.com, and today's video is on a kind of serious topic. It's how thoughts are actually entities. They are real things, and what you think will profoundly affect your vibration and your behavior for better or worse. The point I'm making is shamanic. I had an experience several years ago in an ayahuasca ceremony where the medicine showed me something that was just amazing to me. I was shown that every little thought I think became a little wriggling entity that wriggled out from my head and into the room. And I could perceive that the sole reason that little thought form existed was to make physically real the thought it was holding. And although I wasn't speaking in the ceremony, ayahuasca told me, and if you had spoken that thought, it would have been 100 times more powerful. So this made me really mindful of the power of thought. And since then, I've been even more conscious of what I'm thinking, what I'm saying, aware that each of these is not just some little flimsy mental thing that can come and go. They are real live beings. They have consciousness and they want to physically manifest the ideas they're holding. So I say this in light of a recent experience I had where I have a good friend who has bought into the whole QAnon conspiracy theory. And this person, I can actually perceive the dark energies in them, in their belly, and they're all seething around in there, and they're totally, my perception is they're totally tied in with the conspiratorial thoughts the person is holding. And the person has really been corrupted by them, although otherwise they're a really marvelous high vibration person. I know actually quite a few very spiritually conscious people who have bought into the whole idea here. And I can't definitively say it's true or false. You know, I don't have hardcore evidence either way. It doesn't feel right to me. And I also know that the vibration that something holds is a good clue to it. When I touch into the whole QAnon thing and hear people talk about it and the energy of the people who are holding the beliefs, more often than not, there's kind of a dark, creepy tone to it. Whereas people are holding concepts and ideas that are full of love and light and peace and love, and that's a whole different vibe. So the point I'm making is not to get down on you if you believe in a conspiracy theory. You have the right to believe as you will, but just to hold your attention to the idea that thoughts, again, are not just little things that come and go. Thoughts are powerful. There's a reason why when a new government, especially like, tyrannical governments want to start gaining control, the first thing they do is the information war. They want to plant thoughts in the minds of the populace that correspond to the reality they're wanting to create. Thoughts create reality very much. We live in a hologram, and thoughts do create the reality. So just a caution. So let me now next move to how do you deal with that if that's true? You have to get above the level of the thought. And this is why, in my perception, having a high enough level of spiritual awakening is the key to getting out of the grip of thought forms that might be controlling you. Einstein had a beautiful way of saying it. He said, a problem cannot be solved at the level it was created. You have to go to the next level up. So if you're in this field of thought forms that are really reinforcing this particular belief you're holding, which may not be true or may be destructive, it's very hard to battle at that mental level. That's a really tough slog. But if you can have your divine lift you to the next level up of just even a basic awakening level beyond thought into the realm of just pure peaceful consciousness, then you are the master of the thought realm when you're conscious there. No thought can influence you at that level. And then from there, you have a chance to perceive with more clarity your optimal course of action. So one thing I'm wanting to reinforce here, awakening is for me the optimal cure for thought infiltration. You're above the level of thought, you master the level, and from there you have this clarity that can't even really be verbalized very well because, again, it's beyond thought. But once you're there, you'll know what I'm talking about. So just a reminder to look at what you're believing. How does it feel as you hold consciousness of the particular thought forms that you've invited into your field and that are constituting your beliefs? Do these thoughts make you feel good or bad? And if you are really digging into a web of thought, a labyrinth of thought, forms that are all connected together, is it making you feel good to get in there, or is it making you feel bad? And I'm not saying you should never dive into challenging thoughts, because sometimes dark realities must be faced. But if you're going to go in there, I recommend you go in there awake, so that you are working from an awakened consciousness. And that way you're less likely to get infiltrated and overrun by the thoughts where they've taken you over. And usually when that happens, you're not even aware of it. You're holding those thoughts as absolute truth and have no perspective beyond that. So we live in a very challenging time right now. People are really diving into their thought forms hard and solid and not budging. And it's a very tricky time. So if you're receptive to what I'm saying, I would just so encourage you, whatever you can do to cultivate your awakening and stay in conscious, even in your body, in that realm beyond thought, have access to that just beingness state. Then you've got the bird's eye view of the thought forms. You can see them for what they are. If you're only working in the mental level, if you're not at a basic level of embodied awakening yet, then they just swarm you and your child's play in their hands, basically. So that's my message for today. I know it's kind of intense, but I've had some people very close to me really buy into some of these conspiracy theories, and it's really making me sad to see some of the spaces they're going into as a result. So please stay awake, stay conscious, make your own choices from your divine awareness as to what to believe and not. And I wish you the best of luck in negotiating these challenging times. Stay awake. If you're interested in work with me, go to astroshaman.com. I do astrology and shamanic healing and awakening activation and life coaching and other cool stuff. And I've got a membership called Awakening Plus, where we gather in our group events and help support each other in the kind of thing I'm talking about. Thanks for watching, and I wish you infinite blessings.